I've reluctantly and grudgingly accepted all the criminal presidents pushed upon me in my lifetime. But when you thrust a TV buffoon, a liar, thief, sexual deviant, and profiteer directly into the presidency, I say no. That's it. That's the last straw. I'm not accepting this in any way, shape, or form. Trump wasn't elected to anything. He both bought and stole that election. His elitist buddies gave him the presidency through some backroom deal. And the rigging of the Democratic primary was a major part of that backroom deal. So a rapist and child molester was handed the keys to the kingdom. What are you going to do about it? I mean, think about it, people. There is absolutely no way a person caught saying and behaving as he did, past and present, could have won a national election. In fact, if the elite wasn't behind his presidential appointment, the people would have wrote him out of the country. He condoned sexual assault, assault and battery of political opponents, race, religious, and political discrimination and hatred. He was a TV clown, refused financial disclosure, was caught lying about his past political positions, his past personal associations, and past business practices. He was a braggart and a thug, behaving quite literally like Mussolini. There's no way in hell he could have been elected to anything, except maybe to be king of the loudmouth, bully assholes. Trump bought and stole the presidency. He was not elected. It did not happen. I will not recognize him as head shoeshine boy, much less as president of my country. After Trump is allowed to take the oath of office, expect the police state to become fully installed and operational. That's why he was appointed president. I'll bet you, under Trump, the cashless society will become reality. The surveillance society will become more intrusive. Police powers will broaden and become absolute. Tracking devices will begin being inserted under the skin of citizens. Bad credit penalties will be broadened and more severe. Wages will decrease. Medical care will be denied. Education will become more costly. Debt will become increasingly debilitating. War will continue, and corporate profits will soar. Want to bet? Just wait and see. In 1759, Ben Franklin wrote, "They that can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." And that's the issue this video is addressing. In this non-election cycle, the only other issue I was concerned with was California's Prop 56, the fascist anti-smoker law. I know, no matter what law is passed or who is elected, nothing is going to change from the top down. Few state propositions were of any interest to me because I knew no matter what, I'm going to get screwed. Legislation works the same way. No matter what law is passed, I get screwed. But Prop 56 was able to hurt me directly. Just steal money directly from my pocket. It doesn't steal from non-smokers, only smokers. Society's new scapegoats. The removal of rights or the punishment of nonconformity isn't something you can vote for. I'm protected from such social predation by ethics, contract law, and the law of human rights. You can't single out a selective group for special predatory taxation. You can't force behavior by placing ridiculous financial burdens on people. That's not only fascist as hell, it's goddamned illegal. This fascist measure failed in what? 3 or 4 previous attempts? So of course it would pass now. The poor, the disabled, the elderly, single mothers and their children, those on Social Security, all have received no real cost of living adjustments in nearly a decade. So now is the perfect time to pounce and force still more social engineering through financial hardship. I used to think it absurd when fascist conservatives called liberals fascist, but now I know it to be true. Everything I've been saying is proven right. Both the left and the right are led by fascist predators. I wish people would start listening to me. I keep being proven right over and over again, yet I can't get a word in edgewise. The fascists on the left and the right keep monopolizing the conversation. Here's what the liberal fascists say. Oh no, people aren't listening to our lies. We must use the corrupt power of the state to force people to comply with our demands and conform to us. Both the fascist left and right claim to deplore the police state, and they do, unless it enforces their own prejudices and predation. You're all fascists. With equalism, we'll end smoking legally through persuasion, not force and financial punishment. We won't resort to fraud, scare tactics, or coercion either. We'll encourage vaping, offer nicotine patches for free, and establish social support networks. Don't discriminate against those who are different than you. Don't hate them or try to force them to live as you do. Are you insane? These are the acts of a police state. The more you try to force me to stop smoking, the more I'll defend my human rights. Why? Because I'm a man of integrity. I know for a fact human freedom is the most valuable thing any human can possess. The whole idea behind these illegal selective taxes is to hurt people into submission and to increase elitist revenue through government theft and oppression. If the elite can't steal your money through business, they're more than happy to steal it through government. They want those taxes. They don't care about your health. You can't target a specific scapegoat to prey upon. Tobacco smokers have now replaced pot smokers as social scapegoats. What do you think the odds are that people would vote to legalize pot while simultaneously criminalizing tobacco? The odds are slim to none. Pot is becoming legal because the elite want its direct profits, just like gambling. Pot legalization has done nothing but cause the skyrocketing cost of pot. As pot is becoming legal, fewer people can afford it. Just like cigarettes. Why outlaw something when you can just stop it by making it a financial impossibility? A luxury item only the elite can afford. Remember, no legislation is passed or candidate elected that the elite don't want or profit from. Not only does this law discriminate only against smokers, it also targets the lower classes for economic harm. My Social Security will increase only $4 a month, but my tax burden just increased over $60 a month. The only immediate impact this election is going to have on me is a whopping 35% increase in my expenditures and a paltry 0.03% increase in revenue. Thanks to all you anti-smoking fascist liberals. Remember, no law passed by your society that harms you applies to you. You're under no legal or ethical obligation to obey or adhere to such laws. The only true laws, the only legally enforceable ones, are the ones that protect you from predation, not the ones that enforce predation against you. This is called human rights. No one has the right to do you harm, not even under the guise of it being for your own good. I'll decide what's for my own good, not you, you damned predatory liberal fascists. And don't pull that crap about wanting to save lives. It's becoming more and more common to oppress under the guise of social safety or personal good. It's like a medical or safety eminent domain. They claim to have the authority to remove your rights for the public good and your own personal safety. Of course, that's a lie. They don't have that authority. Many put themselves at increased risk to harm themselves every day. But tobacco smokers are the only ones economically punished for it. And poverty is the number one killer of Americans. But I don't see any special penalties for perpetuating poverty. Their concern is not your well-being, but your compliance to their fascist will. Now, with Trump, on top of that fascist cigarette tax, I'll get hurt with a triple whammy thanks to this non-election cycle. The third whammy being the continued denial of cost of living increases to my poverty level Social Security. So I'm here telling you flat out, the entire election was a sham. The primaries were a sham. The rallies and news coverage were shams. The propositions were shams, just like everything else in predonomic society. The elite have mastered doublespeak. I'm goddamn tired of the fascist elitist criminals rigging everything in their favor and then calling it democracy, calling conformity rebellion, calling the acceptance of the status quo rejection of the establishment, making the perpetuation of their control appear as a rejection of that control. I'm damn tired of being dictated to by fascist bigots and predators from the left and the right. by the elite on both the left and the right. They are the same elite. Quit following the elite and then complaining about it when you don't like where they lead you. So no, Californians did not pass Prop 56. They didn't have the authority, and they aren't that gullible, callous, or stupid. And no, the majority of Americans did not elect Trump president. Americans aren't that stupid, callous, or gullible. Even if the election returns were real, the majority of voters publicly admitted to voting for people they didn't want to vote for. That's voter fraud. And by law, those votes don't count. I'll tell you one thing. I and billions of others on this planet would be much better off if people would just stop voting in these shams. Stop participating in these scams. Stop playing this rigged game and stop enforcing the elitist will. Be sure to check out my Equalism channel to learn more about how to rid yourselves of your own slavery. Learn how to turn your own lives into life experiments for the betterment of yourselves and all humanity. Thanks.